sister's back. She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red cloak baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe.
The Meister turns to you, her eyes wide with worry.
Oh, pardon. I'm so sorry. How could I have forgotten? Thank you so much. Thank you for rescuing me after they had already strung me up, after they had tortured me for days, after they...
She stops mid-shout, descending into a fit of coughing, wheezing, and groaning. She glowers at you as she slowly regains her composure.
If we are quite finished with politeness, there is so much to do. Apparently I had a claw in murdering their darling divine-in-waiting Alexander.
The Meister wrenches the bandage, pulling the fabric tight against her wound. She winces before tying it off in a neat knot, but you can see the red stain already spreading across the fabric.
Never mind that. That I was here the entire time. Apparently my cunning transcends time, space, and common sense.
Meister Siva freezes, her eyes locked on you, her claws mid-swipe, cutting a new stretch of bandage.
Why on earth should I have thought anything else? Not that I was sorry to hear about his death. I doubt my grin helped matters during the interrogation. It is not enough to be God-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try to get it right. It really is quite simple. In the corner there's a painting. Remove it and push the button behind it. Then we may move on to the vault. The combination to the vault is 15R 34L, 23R 35R, 9R 16L, 33L 45R, 51L 1L. Try.
Rubbish.
I pray my instructions will not be too technical for you. Push the button. Your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go. We can go nowhere until you open the safe in the floor. The combination is 15R, 34L, 23R, 35R, 9R, 16L, 33L, 45R, 51L, 1L.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoke.
Ancient runes, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? You would trade every soul in Rivellon for the sake of knowledge. You would make a ferocious librarian. No, becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. When you become the divine, there is no more self.
For just a moment, her eyes soften as she looks at you.
It is no small thing to ask, but it is your duty. Without a new divine, Rivellon will die. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch Divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then, well, not inhale the smoke, but whatever the skeletal equivalent is. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, itchy bones, or a dire sense of existential dread. They are all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard, sauce in the glowing fountain, ritual in the tome by the bookcase, even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as fresh blood oozes out, staining her claws.
Quite. Mind you, being torn asunder by a Voidwoken would be even more inconvenient. So if you wouldn't mind...
The Meister points sharply to the ingredients cupboard.
Once, although not by a Godwoken. My assistant did not believe that one had to be chosen by a god to become divine.
She waves a bandaged hand absent-mindedly, wincing slightly.
A headstrong and thoughtless girl, but the experience was... was quite educational. From observing her, I gather that the ritual involves inhaling the smoke, a lot of screaming, and a rather sudden death. Well, certainly. It is not my place to police the stupidity of others. I have to admit I was curious. Imagine if it had been a success. Why, then anyone could have ascended, even I. Alas, success was beyond her reach. Quite fascinating to watch, though. I've never seen a body burn from the inside out before. And do not lose anything. These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot. Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go! Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go! Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go! Are you simple? Perform the ritual. Ingredients in the cupboard, ritual in the book, source in the fountain. Go!
This again? This again? this again.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the black root nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and drudene oil. You gather up the black root, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As the smoke swirls about your skull, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly, sinking into the depths of your own soul.
This the deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of this eerie, starless landscape, you spot a figure you could only describe as you, another you. It looks haggard and weak, its voice merely a feeble echo of your own.
Thane! My child. Come. Come closer. Let us be revealed. No beast, no monster. Merely an illusion to be dispelled.
The apparition clasps your face in shaking skeletal hands, and you feel a tingle run through your bones. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color before fading back to their accustomed spectrum.
Time to open the eyes you lost so long ago. To see the world as you once did. Speak the spell and see. Please, speak the spell.
Gone is the strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the goddess Amadia in all her spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you, Fane? Your sister, your guardian. You were my hero once. You must be so again. Your kindred soul was my last refuge, my last bastion. From here I can aid you, but only if you grant me one small kindness.
Amadia stretches out and nourishes herself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself as it drains away.
Ah, yes. That is better. That is so much better. Truly. Dying does not become a god. Once, perhaps. Today, immortality is only permanent until the day it ceases to be so. The war has taken its toll. The forces of the king are hunting us down, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We are battling for our very survival, and I doubt you would have us lose, Fane. Should we perish, we will be cast into oblivion, and I dare not dream what he will do to you. In a manner of speaking. But let that be a motivator, not a cause for concern. You must realize, dear one, that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. United, we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we are to survive the onslaught of the king and his void minions, you must remember what you have forgotten. We must become vastly more powerful. And once you are strong enough, we must travel to the Well of Ascension. There, you will become even more powerful. It is a lake, a pool of pure source, containing half the powers of each of the gods. We gave those powers up freely to create the first divine, a mortal we infused with our united strength. To bathe in the lake is to become the divine. But you, Fane, you could be so much more, and that is why you must be the first to reach it, no matter what the cost. We had no choice. In the face of the Void's onslaught, our individual powers would never have been enough, although we still had the sense to leave him immortal. The Void has never been this strong. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in its powers, but to take them, all of them. Even all those powers will barely be enough to defeat the king. Alas, I fear it is too late for me, and the others have shown they cannot be trusted. You are innocent, Fane. That is why you must wield the power. It was you that uncovered it after all. Of course, the others are saying the same to their mortal God-woken as we speak. But there can be only one. So make no mistake, dear Fane. The road to divinity may well mean the blood of those 6 traitors staining your ivory hands. But do not let that dismay you. You will save these mortals. You will save this world. You will save me, the last of your true kin. And you will become a god. Dearest heart, you cannot tell me you look about this world and see an eternal realm. It is far too crude. The others have picked up the taint of their mortal pets and contaminated this world accordingly. You and I are the last Eternals, Fane. That is why it will be us. That is why it must be us. They will be at your mercy, which is vastly preferable to you being at theirs, wouldn't you agree? So fret not, but revel in the promise of the lake. I will lead you there when you are ready. when you have remastered the source and once again speak the language of creation. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source as you once did, and wield its most powerful spells.
Laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You flatter me, dear child, but if all I had to do was give, you would have received long ago. We are I now. I shall teach you the spells you need to remember soon, but not before you relearn how to channel the source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek these masters of the source. You must make them teach you, so that you can regain your full power. They may be nothing but mortals, but like all mortals, they have their uses. Return to Rivellon, seek them out, and force these masters to share the knowledge they have gleaned. Once you have, return to me here. Alas, I am no longer who I once was, bound to you as I've become. I will teach you what I can, but the links that will expand the bounds of your soul, those are connections I cannot make for you. You had forgotten how to view the world, my child. This will make you understand that for us, there is precious little difference between the living and the dead. Source is. It is a constant, a subject of neither time nor transience. All of life is Source, and in Source it is, immortally so. Your vision has been restored, giving you the power to see spirits, the souls of dead mortals made manifest in Source. Speak the spell during your peregrinations, and you will see them. Where the dead lie, the dead linger. Good luck, dear Fane. Make me proud. Go now, my darling Fane. Rivellon and its masters await.
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
The Meister's eyes flash with fury, but she holds her tongue and steps back.
You are not a pile of ash, so the ritual was a success, albeit partially. You had all the material requirements, so I can only assume your source was lacking. That is unfortunate. Indeed not. And ever more difficult when you've been purged. I was a master of source once, but no longer. The Magisters saw to that. The river of my source has been dammed. My link to the font from which it flows, severed. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turn into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. You will not be there long, I assure you. There is only so much you can glean from a twisted mind. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. And you do not seem to be paying attention. Sorcerers, evil, controlling your source, saving Rivellon, please. Please tell me at least some of this rings a bell. Your focus, your only focus, must be on finding these masters, on finding the secrets to divinity. Nothing else matters. Alas, I am. And we do not have time to nitpick morals. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just keep your eye sockets peeled. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
Quercus, what are you looking at? Egad, stop gawking at the shield. You ought to be quite used to such journeys into that stone realm by now. Meanwhile, the acorn draws nearer. I read through some tomes I saw that cranky old lizard carrying. Some fascinating leads, but nothing like the power we need to stop the Knights of Dre and their wicked plot. Our gargantuan friend is easily impressed. Wait until it learns that I'm a knight, a scholar, and a wizard capable of saving the world. No, of course it knows that already, Quercus. Yes, I'm aware it's the entire basis of our partnership. No, I most certainly do not feel the need to return the compliment. I owe our shield my life several times over. I hardly need to grovel and thank it each time. I'm sure it knows I appreciate it. Now, if you're quite finished ogling your favorite long-legged scratching post, we need to get on and save the world already.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead. Stay strong on your holy mission, Godwoken.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me!
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A godwoken in my presence. You honor me!
The Meister stares intently at you. Her eyes are tired and bruised, but determined.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hold your head in your hands, rubbing what's left of your temples.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of sauce. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my sauce. Not enough to silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. Just so, some of these are quite dark, twisted individuals. The kind of creatures that grew bored pulling the legs from spiders and so moved on to people. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource. But do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Of course, my supply has rather gone up in smoke. You can find more in the cloister woods to the northwest of Driftwood. Hardly a charming place, but it grows nowhere else. The Magisters kept records of each and every sorcerer in the area. The good, the bad, and the dangerously insane. You have the privilege of seeking out the final of the three. Break into the Magisters' barracks, find their records, and seek out Masters of the Source. Without their help, you will never have the strength to travel within your own soul. Remember, these are dangerous creatures, but it is vital that you learn what they can teach you, whatever the cost.
The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. You honor me.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped to the floor.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to proceed? Then why, pray tell, are you wasting both my time and your own? Go!
Fetch me some
Right
more.
away.
regional headquarters and jail, Driftwood.
Surrounded by incompetence. I deserve a better posting.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want, lizard? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Well, mind your bloody step in future. I've an investigation to carry out, and I don't need any more distractions. Yes, a vile little tinkerer goes by the name of Higba. 3 of my Magisters have gone missing of late from right here in Driftwood. All signs are that Higba is responsible. Catching, killing, I don't care. There'll be gold for whoever puts an end to this rat. If you see anything, tell me or my men at once. Otherwise, keep the hell out of our way. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. Bellwether, I need those reports,
sir.
damn it.
Right away.
Belson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Right away.
The Magister's jaw is tightly clenched as he stares out of the window. He senses you.
What? Those tinkerers all look the same. Scruffy, gold-hungry, sly wretches. This one has a grey beard and a dark cloak, according to reports. When, not if, and you'll see for yourself in time, we'll make all of Driftwood come and see what happens to those who conspire against us. Desertions? What do you know about desertions? This miserable town has too many gossip mongers. But they're right, we have had some desertions of late. The veterans disgruntled with the new leadership. But they slip away in the night, taking supplies. Cowards and traitors, all of them. I'm looking for loyal Magisters, vanishing in broad daylight. Desertion just doesn't fit. Well, do you know anything? Stop wasting my time, then. Bellwether, I need those reports,
Sir.
damn it.
Right away.